With this past week's Super Tuesday in the rearview mirror, entrance and exit polls at the Republican primary contests highlighted the extent to which the effort to kill Donald Trump's candidacy has failed. Across 6 states, Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and California, most Republican primary voters said they considered Trump fit for the presidency, and they would feel that way even if he were to be convicted of a crime. The polls look much different than they did in 2016 and 2020. What does it mean? We go to Philadelphia to speak with Professor Tony Monteiro of the Saturday Free School. Tony, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, what we're looking at is the complete opposite of what polls were showing in 2016 and pretty much in 2020. Hillary Clinton in 2016 was leading by huge amounts in every poll. And in 2020, Biden was leading most of the time in most polls. 2024 is the exact opposite. And not only is Trump leading, albeit sometimes within the margin of error, sometimes more than the margin of error, but the significant thing is that he is consistently in the lead in the battleground states, including very significantly the state of Pennsylvania. For Trump to be leading in Pennsylvania suggests that politically things are going on that were not happening in 2020 or 2016. In other words, the coalition of voters that are supporting Trump is larger and larger than ever before. But the other thing, and this is kind of the kiss of death for the National Democratic Party, Black voters, the bedrock of the Democratic Party nationally, and its hope to elect presidents. Black voters have been leaving the Democratic Party and Biden in numbers no one could have imagined and no one had ever seen. We're looking at Biden's approval rating among African American voters declining by something like 30%, from the 90s now down into the 60s, a historic decline in support for the Democratic Party, and in particular for Joe Biden. Democratic Party cannot win. Biden cannot win without the Black vote, and he's losing the Black vote. So I say all this to say a profound realignment of the parties is taking place. And you know, we have to face it. The Democratic Party is the party of elites, of college-educated people, of the upper middle class, of the wealthiest part of the American population and the American electorate. And the Republican Party is increasingly the party of working people and lower middle class people. And that equation will defeat Biden in November. Now, I mentioned realignment. The realignment is so thorough, and I think at this point irreversible, that pretty much everything that stands in its way is being overturned. For example, the Colorado attempt to kick Trump off the ballot in the primaries in Colorado failed, disastrously failed. A unanimous Supreme Court struck it down.
Unanimous.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Supreme Court decision, which was not unanimous, but a majority, that pushed back the date of the federal
Right.
indictment, the federal trial that Trump faces. So it does not look good from a legal or political standpoint for the Democrats, for frankly the elite and the neocons. They're losing consistently. And you know, Biden's speech and the spin that the mainstream, his State of the Union speech, that is, and the spin that the mainstream media, especially MSNBC, are putting on this thing, it's just, it almost reaches a level of ridiculousness.
Right.
They cannot make Biden appear to be what everybody sees he is not. The man is fragile. The man does not always know where he is and has difficulty completing sentences.
Right.
And everybody knows it. 70% of the American electorate says that he does not have the stamina or the mental acuity to carry out the job of the president of the United States. The guy is a loser. And now his policy in the Ukraine is going down the tubes. This is his war. It is his war and his alone. It was a war that they wanted for political reasons. He would be the president to take Putin down. Now, the opposite is happening. Putin is stronger than ever, and Biden is weaker than ever. And of course, the situation in Gaza and the Middle East and the genocide being carried out by Netanyahu's government, and Biden ran over there and embraced him. And the domestic blowback is that in Michigan and Minnesota, in other states, the uncommitted vote in the primaries has reached something like 20% and more.
Yep.
People who vote uncommitted. This is a death knell for Biden. He cannot win.
The failure in Ukraine took a casualty. Our friend Vicky the Cookie Newland resigned unexpectedly. Most people characterize it as, and this comes right after, in essence, the Ukrainian military's line at the battle line is collapsing in various places now. How do you see that fitting into this picture, the whole big picture here?
Well, it's a huge thing. Ukraine is Biden's war. It is not Putin's war. It's a war that Putin did not want. In fact, you know, if people go back and remember, you know, not more than a month, a little over a month after the war began, after the special operation began, Putin went to Turkey, Ankara, and negotiated what could have been a peace settlement. But the British intervened and told the Ukrainian government to fight on, and they fought on. Now they're being completely defeated. But this is Biden's war. This is a British-American war to bring down Putin. It has failed.
Professor Monteiro, thank you very much for your time. We look forward to speaking with you again soon.
You're welcome.
For KPFK, I'm Don DeBar.